What's going on, everyone? Justin Tech here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got something awesome for you. The ultimate Philips Hue Smart Switch guide. These dials, remotes, switches, and accessories will make controlling your Philips Hue lights more convenient than taking out your phone or asking a voice assistant. I'll even show off solutions for replacing your basic wall switches with Hue compatible ones, so you don't have to yell at your friends who accidentally flicked that switch that shouldn't be flicked. No more of that. If you find today's video helpful, be sure to give it a like right down there. And I've thrown links to everything I'm showing off in this video in the description, and it really helps me out when you use them because it supports the channel. All right, it is time to switch this video on. Let's start with the Lutron Aurora dimmers. You may know Lutron as the smart wall switches, but now they've teamed up with Philips Hue to create a switch for the Hue system. These dimmers cover and replace your toggle and rocker wall switches. Once installed, the dial will dim selected lights, rooms, or zones by revolving it, and turn the lights on and off by pressing the button. Installing it on a toggle switch is super simple. Just screw on the bracket, pop on the dial, and you're done. The rocker switch is a bit more involved, and you'll need to get the wall plate bracket. You'll need to take out your current switch and cap the wires in the back box, so the light is always on. Next, screw in the wall plate bracket, put on the switch frame, screw in the bracket, and pop the dial on top. Programming the dial is easy. Go to Settings on the Hue app, click Accessory Setup, Friends of Hue, and there it is. You can program the dial to turn the lights on from their last state, or to a specific scene every time you press it. Personally, I like to have it go to its last state. Now for some light switches. Let's start with the SENIC GIRA light switch. This one doesn't require batteries because it's powered by its own rocker mechanism. It comes with 2 small rockers and 1 large rocker. You can configure which rockers you're using on the Hue app. Once connected, you can assign each button to either activate a scene or turn on or off a room, light, or zone. You can also set a long press to dim or brighten. For even more control, you can use the iConnect Hue app on iOS to program additional commands by clicking both the top rockers or bottom rockers together. In my room, I've got one of the SENIC switches, and in the top right, I can set it to 100% daylight. Then in the bottom right, 100% warm light. The top left is my studio lighting when I'm about to shoot a video. My desk is all set up in the right lighting, and then why not some mood lighting around the room? And then the bottom left, turn off the lights. Where'd you go? SENIC also just released the first outdoor Friends of Hue switch. It's designed to withstand sunlight and rain splashes with an IP44 rating. It works the same as the indoor one. At the Palm Springs Smart Home, it helps us transform the backyard. And we've got the multi-click set on the iConnect Hue app. By the way, I'm moving to this house for a few months in April, so get ready for a lot more smart home content. I didn't even get to the most impressive part. These work with HomeKit. Once you connect a switch to your Hue bridge, you can use HomeKit to assign buttons to activate scenes, basically making this a smart switch for all your smart home tech. There's a lot more to this, so I'll be releasing an entire video on this and some cool HomeKit NFC tiles, so make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss it. All of these switches are shipped out of Europe and aren't cheap, but you'll save 10% if you buy a combination of 3. And if you stay till the very end of the video, I'll let you know how you can win one in our giveaway. Next is the RunLessWire switch. It pretty much works the same as the SENIC switch. It's battery operated and comes with both a single and double rocker. But what makes it unique is the ability to install it into a wall switch, just like the Lutron Aurora from earlier. And of course, you can just put it on its frame and adhere it to a wall, or leave it on the counter. The RunLessWire is about $10 cheaper than the SENIC switch, and this one also works with HomeKit. And then there's the Hue Button. Look at that little guy, isn't he cute? This little thing may not look that special, but it is packing a punch of functionalities. You can program it to cycle through 5 different scenes, or even cooler, you can assign scenes based on the time of day. So check this out. It is 5:40 p.m. I've got my Hue button, and when I press it, it's going to set the lights to this warmer white because, you know, it's getting later in the evening and it's time to settle down. Then when I press it again, I can actually cycle through all the colors of lighting that are set to those different times. The button is magnetic, so you can stick it on furniture or a fridge. It comes with a wall plate and an adhesive magnetic piece. While testing, I realized you can also connect the Hue button to HomeKit. More on that in my upcoming episode. A cool way to use the Hue button is to control a Philips Hue Smart Plug. So right back there, I've got my neon smile, and just by holding it down, I can turn it off and then tap it once and it turns right back on. And yeah, Philips Hue has smart plugs. Now, they're not the cheapest smart plugs on the market at $29.99, but what's great is they fit into the Hue ecosystem incredibly well. If your home mostly lives in that Hue ecosystem and you don't want to use your voice to control a smart plug, then this smart plug is a really great option for you. And next we've got the Hue Dimmer Switch. This is technically the older version because they just announced a newer one, but they work pretty much the same. You can program this remote to turn on and off your lights, dim, and cycle through pre-programmed scenes. This is the only switch I've spoken about in this video which doesn't require a Hue bridge to control lights. You can just control bulbs with this, and I've actually given this to my mom as a gift, just this and a bulb, and she really loves it. It's really easy to use. The new one will be a bit larger and instead has assigned both the on and off switch to the top button. The bottom switch can be programmed with scenes, and the center rocker will dim and brighten. Then there's the tap switch. With the tap switch, you can program a scene to each of the small buttons and the larger frame. This one doesn't necessarily have as much functionality as the other switches I showed, like the SENIC GIRA. One positive is you can use this switch with Hue Labs, which is an entire section of the Hue app with cool automations like color loop, backyard living scene, candle flicker, and more. I'm going to be producing a video on all of my favorite Hue Labs, and it's going to be awesome, so you don't want to miss that. I'll throw it in the description when it's finished. And for those of you who want to keep your wall switches the way they are, but connect them to the Philips Hue system, Philips Hue has just announced a wall switch module. This can be installed behind a wall switch so that the switches don't actually turn off the power from fixtures, but it turns off Hue lights through the Hue system. So just to be clear, this isn't going to make your normal lights compatible with the Hue system because of that switch. It's going to make that switch compatible with Hue lights that you're using that are connected to it, like Philips Hue recessed lights or something plugged into an outlet where that switch controls it. Oddly enough, this is a battery operated device and it's not using the electric in the back box for some reason. I don't know why. I am going to ask Hue. They do say that it's going to last 5 years minimum, so at least there's that. But I am going to explore that when I review the product on this channel. The wall switch module will be available in a 1-pack and a 2-pack, and it's coming to North America this summer. But for my European friends, you'll be getting it as soon as this spring. Oh, you probably wanted to hear about the giveaway, right? Yeah, I've teamed up with SENIC GIRA to give away 2 of these light switches, so why don't you head over to my Instagram to find out how to enter. Back to you, Justin. Thank you guys for switching on this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like. I come out with videos every Thursday, Philips Hue smart home tech reviews on just tech that I think is awesome, and I've got so much coming, so if you want to be there for that, you should totally subscribe and click that bell for alerts. That way you know when the video comes out. I'm Justin, and I'll take you later.